welcome you all. Next, we'll see the topic big data analytics tools and technologies with respect to data and analytics for IoT. So it is a common mistake of every individuals who are very new to the world of data management is that the term data, big data and Hadoop are interchangeable. Though it is true that Hadoop is a core of many of today's big data implementations, it's only the piece of puzzle. So big data analytics can consist of many different software pieces together to collect, to manipulate, analyze different data types. So Hadoop is at the core of many today's big data implementation, and it consists of different software pieces. So it helps to better understanding landscape, defining what is big data is and what it is not. And generally in the industry, big data world, era of big data, we have three V's that will be categorized as first one is velocity, second one is variety, and third one is volume. Coming to first one, that is velocity. Velocity refers how quickly data is being collected and analyzed. So that is what the velocity, how fast data will be fetched, how fast data will be generated. So Hadoop distributed file system, also called as HDFS, is designed to ingest and process data very quickly. So in order to analyze, in order to process the data, which will be fetched very quickly, that will be done by a file system called HDFS file system, so called as Hadoop distributed file system. And smart object can generate machine a sensor data. It's very fast rate. So the meaning of your statement is the data generated by any sensor or any machine is very fast. So that data will be stored in database and that should be processed. Of equally fast ingest function will be used in order to store the data with respect to the fast data acquisition from the sensors. Next is variety. Variety says what type of data it is. So different type of data are there, like structured, semi-structured, or unstructured. So this variety defines what kind of data is being fetched from the sensor. So different database technologies may only be capable of accepting these types. So Hadoop is able to store, collect all three type of data, whichever data will be fetched from the IoT sensor. So next we'll see about the volume. Volume is the thing, but it refers to the scale of the data. What is the size of the data, measurement of the data. So very low sensors provides or produces a gigabytes of data, where petabyte or even exabytes of data is being generated by other extreme sensors. So generally big data is being implemented beyond is available local storage disk in a single node. And it is commonly to see very different clusters of servers that consist of dozens, hundreds, thousands of nodes for some large deployments in order to store a huge data generated by a extreme sensors. So next, data ingest is a layer that connects data sources to storage. So here, in order to connect a data source to storage, data ingest is a layer we use it. So this layer pre-processes, validates, extracts, and stores data temporarily for further process, like cache memory. It stores data temporarily for further processing. After processing, that will become an empty. So there is several patterns to consider data ingest. First, it is a multi-source injection which connects a multiple data source to inject the system. So the meaning of multi-source injection is it receive a stream of data, multiple patterns will be received, from multiple source and being passed to the data with an intermediate node to the final node. So these patterns are typically implemented in batch systems. That is what the real-time system we call it as. Many industries, automation and control system fit the two distinct data types, that is relational database and historians. Coming to relational database, Oracle, MySQL, and Microsoft SQL are good for transactional of processing of data. So they use tools like Oracle and Microsoft SQL and so on. The benefits is being able to analyze complex data relationship on the over a period of time. So next, they're built with speed of storage and retrieval of data to the core. So each data point in the series with pretend information about system being logged. So this data may consist of sensors reading, the quality of material, temperature reading, or a flow of data from one node to another node, or the data transferred from one device to another device, and so on. So next, relational database and historians are mature technologies. So this is enough matured, will be very fast, it will be processing, it will be analyzed, and so on. Data will be managed in the market with new possibilities for sensors and machine data. So these database technologies broadly fit into a few categories where strength and potential drawbacks used by IoT context. A more popular of these categories are massively parallel processing systems where multiple jobs been processed parallelly, where NoSQL and Hadoop technologies are being used. So massive parallel processing, we also called as MPP. It's also called as a relational database warehouse, where it is designed to be built like a much faster much faster and efficient to support reduce query timings. To accomplish this MPP database, advantage of multiple nodes are being used in the process of distributed across multiple systems. So next, MPPs are sometimes referred as analytic database, where it is designed to allow the fast query processing, and it is often have built-in analytic functions. So the name implies this database process massive data sets, the parallel across many processor and nodes. So multiple data will be processed in a single point of time, where MPP architecture is typically consists of single master node that I'll show in next slide, where diagram will be shown with respect to MPP. And this single master node is capable of to or the responsible for multiple clusters or a multiple process across the cluster. So shared nodes will be located that in order to process memory and the storage for operating independently. So that now you are seeing a diagram with respect to MPP shared nothing architecture, where a master host will be there. So for master, n number of segments or n number of nodes are attached. So where parallel processing will be done. So, and we can observe one more thing, that is standby master. So the meaning of standby master is if master node goes fail, automatically standby master will start activating and it starts processing how exactly the master host will do. So again, master node will become a standby. Once any one master fails, automatically the next one will start activated and it acts like a master. So next we'll see the concept of NoSQL database. So the meaning of NoSQL, not only SQL, is a class of database that supports semi-structured and unstructured data. In addition to that, it supports structured data as well, where like your data warehouse and MPPs. So NoSQL is not a specific database technology, rather than it is an umbrella term of several different type of database, where data stores, key value stores, wide column stores, and graph stores. First, we'll see with respect to document stores. So the meaning of document stores, this type of database stores semi-structured data such as XML or JSON in order to fetch the data from backend to front end. So document store generally have query engines and indexes features that allows for multiple or many optimized queries. So next we have key value stores, where for every value it will be associated with some certain keys. So this type of database stores associative arrays, where key is paired with associated values. Next, wide column stores. It is similar to key value stores, but it can vary from row to row even in the same table. There is a difference between data which is there at row to row. So that kind of, we call it as wide column stores. It is also similar to key value pairs, where for every value key will be associated. Next, we have graph stores. This type of database is organized based on relationship between elements, between two elements. So graph with nothing but social media or a natural language processing is commonly used with respect to graph stores. Next, NoSQL was developed to support high velocity urgent data because it is very fast. Requirements of modern web applications that are typically do not require much repeated use. So that is nothing but a live streaming of data, or any high velocity of data or urgent data will be processed with the help of NoSQL. So the original intended is quickly ingest rapidly. So that is change server logs, check stream data. So generated by web scale did not fitly into the structure. Why? Because it is, if it is unstructured, definitely it will not fit into the perfect row or columns in a relational database. So NoSQL is built to the scale horizontally. It allows multiple hosts and even in distributed geographical. Next, we'll see the concept of Hadoop. Hadoop is also a most recent entrant that into a data management market, where it is most popular choice as data repository and processing engine. So Hadoop is also originally developed for a result project with Google and Yahoo. So even index of million websites and quickly written search engine. So the meaning of Hadoop is in order to store the data, in order to fetch data, which is from large data repository, we use many different tools with respect to Hadoop, where you can search the required information through Google, where Google provides or Google supports the answer for your data. I mean, exact answer will be sent to the user back. So that is what the fetching required information from large data repositories. So initially, the project had two key elements. Hadoop has two key elements. One is Hadoop distributed file system, and one more is MapReduce, where HDFS is a system for storing data across multiple nodes. Here, same node will not, I mean, one node will not be maintained, multiple nodes will be maintained. So MapReduce, a distributed processing engine that splits the large task into smaller ones that can run in parallel. So in order to run that complete task in one batch, what we do is we'll divide it into multiple smaller ones that can be run parallelly. So now you are seeing a diagram with respect to distributed Hadoop cluster. The meaning of cluster is grouping with similar data. So data will be stored in the form of rack. So n number of racks will be there from rack 1 to rack 1, rack n, and that will be maintained, or that will be maintained with a distributed switch. So two distributed switch will be there. One distributed switch will act as a master, and one more is a standby. So in your rack, there will be a switch node, and with respect to name node and data node, name node gives the name of that node, data nodes gives the data which is there inside my node or a name node. So next, much like MPP and NoSQL system, Hadoop is also relies on scale-out architecture. It's leverage local processing, memory, storage to distribute with provide a scalable storage. So both MapReduce and HDFS is an advantage with a distributed architecture to store and process massive amount of data. So where it's a capacity to handle a specialized nodes in the cluster, including name node and data nodes. Coming to name nodes, there are critical piece in data adds, moves, delete, and reads on HDFS. There are critical piece of data. And it coordinates where data is stored, maintain a map, each block of data is stored, where exactly it's replicated. So name node holds the name of the node which is there in my rack. So the name node takes a write request from the client. It distributes configurable block size, usually like 64 MB to 128 MB of blocks. So name node is also responsible for instructing the data nodes where publication should occur. Next, we'll see the data node where data will be stored. So there are servers which are data is stored, data nodes in Hadoop cluster. So data blocks are distributed across several nodes and often are replicated 3 or 4 or many times across a redundancy. So next, once data is written one of the data node, then the data node selects 2 or more additional nodes based on the replication policies, like maintaining a same copy at the different level. Why? Because if any one node goes fail, automatically the same data will be fetched from the different node. So in order to say that there is no data in my database, so we will serve the user with any other, required data with the help of some other extra or a replicate nodes. So we will maintain n number of a copy of nodes. We call it as RAID. So that is what disk redundancy technique, redundant array of independent disks. RAID, a copy of disk will be maintained in order to service when the nodes goes fail. Generally not used because name nodes and data nodes coordinately block level redundancy. So next you are going to see the picture of relation between name nodes and data nodes, where HDFS client starts giving a data. Once it starts giving a data, you are going to see the 3 different kind of data with respect to red color, green color, and yellow color marked as 1, 2, 3. Once HDFS client fetches the data, it goes with the write command. Once it goes with the write command, there will be a concept of name node, where name node has 2 different blocks, that is namespace and block management. Block management will take care where exactly I want to store the data. Namespace will take care of how exactly I want to store the data. There are different racks in one rack, different data nodes in one rack. Red color separate data node will be maintained, green color separate data node will be maintained, and so like that, based on data, different racks will be maintained and that will be stored. So for this, cache will be maintained at the first level. After that, data will be moved to the respective data nodes with respect to racks. So next, MapReduce leverage to a similar node with both model to batch process the data store on the cluster. So this batch processing is a process of running scheduled or ad hoc query where historical data stored in HDFS. Means that query is broken down into smaller tasks and distributed across all the nodes. That is what we call it as a MapReduce and the cluster. While this is useful for understanding patterns, historical sensors are used to machine data, and one significant drawback is time complexity. It takes a huge time to train the data in order to work with historical sensors. Depending on how much data is being queried, and it takes that much of seconds or minutes to return back. So next we'll see the tool called Yarn with respect to Hadoop. It is introduced with version 2.0 of Hadoop. So the meaning of YAN, or the acronym of YAN, is yet another resource negotiator, was designed to enhance the functionality of MapReduce. It is designed only to enhance the functionality of MapReduce. And the responsibility or the role of this MapReduce is batch data processing and job tracking with respect to response management. And YAN was developed to take over the resource negotiation and job tracking with respect to MapReduce, and in order to increase the responsibility of data processing. Next, with respect to YAN, the development of dedicated cluster resources scheduler, and it adds some additional data processing models to the core feature. So including interactive SQL, real-time processing, batch processing that being used with MapReduce. Next, we'll see the concept of Apache Kafka with respect to Hadoop ecosystem. So the process of collecting data from the sensor or a log and preparing to be processed, and that should be handled by messaging system. So these messaging systems are designed to accept data or messages are generated and deliver the data to stream processing engines such as Spark Streaming or Storm. So Spark Streaming or Storm. So this Apache Kafka is a distributed publisher or a subscriber messaging system that is built to be scaled very fast. So it is also composed of topics of message brokers. The meaning of brokers is transferring a message from one node to another node or maintaining connectivity in my network. So by using of brokers, where it produces write data and consumers read data of this topic. It acts as between write data and the read data. So due to the distribution nature of Kafka, it can run on clustered configuration that can be handled many procedure and consumers simultaneously. The goal of Kafka is to provide a simple way to connect the data and allows consumer to connect. So here you can see the diagram with respect to Apache Kafka, where producer produces the data. Once it comes to a Kafka cluster, there is nothing but message broker 1, broker 2, broker 3, broker 4, where it takes responsibility to transfer message from one end to another end. So when it is transferring, automatically nodes will get generated with respect to Kafka, and that nodes will be transferred to the consumer, where we have three different types in consumer, that is Spark Streaming, Storm, and Hadoop. So coming to Spark, in the memory distributed analytical problem, it is designed to accelerate the process. Means in memory, the Spark runs job is very quick. At every stage MapReduce operation, the latency has to be maintained in order to increase the speed of the data. However, with the Spark, high speed memory and the significant with low latency. So in the real-time system, Apache Spark project is called as Spark Streaming, where the Spark Streaming is extension of Spark Core that will be taking live stream data. Like Kafka is dividing into smaller micro batches. The meaning of micro batches are a smaller part of data. So that is also called as discrete streams or D streams. The Spark processing engine is able to operate on the smaller piece of data. It's also rapid inside of data storage subsequently. Next, Apache Storm or Apache Flink are the other Hadoop ecosystem project designed for distributed processing. So Storm can pull the data from Kafka and process in the near real-time fashion, and so on with respect to Apache Flink. Next, we'll go with another architecture, that is Lambda architecture. And ultimately, the key element of data infrastructure is to support collection, processing, and storage of data. So querying both data, either in motion or at the rest. Motion is nothing but streaming data, rest is nothing but batch processing. So the one more architecture is currently leveraged, we call it as Lambda architecture, where in Lambda architecture, data management system consists of two layers. One layer with respect to batch and one more is layer with respect to data, that is serving. One layer is providing for combined data. So these layers allows to package like Spark and MapReduce, where data is independently focusing and key attributes for which they are designed and optimized. So now you are seeing the picture with respect to Lambda architecture, where smart object is responsible to fetch the data. Once data has been fetched, that will be provided to the Kafka architecture, where Kafka architecture, multiple brokers are being there. So it will create node and start transferring. So if the data in Lambda architecture, we have to concentrate on two things: whether data is at motion, whether data is at rest. So if the data is at rest, automatically it goes to the database. We come to the Hadoop concept now to fetch the data. When data is at live streaming, automatically it goes to the streaming layer, where we have Spark Streaming, Storm, and Flink. So that is nothing but real-time use. So two ways are there with respect to my Lambda architecture. If it is real time, it goes to the streaming layer. If it is a rest, the data at rest, directly it goes to the batch layer with respect to Hadoop now to fetch the data. So finally, data will be merged and that will be served to the service, and that will be served to the user. Thank you.